Have you ever walked into an event in someone's house and immediately felt relaxed, welcomed, and cared for? That feeling doesn't happen by accident. It comes from intention, small, thoughtful choices that shape the experience long before guests arrive. Today, I'm sharing what turned my own hosting style into something people tend to remember. Welcome back to Gracefully Lori. I'm Lori. If you're new here, on my channel, elegance begins within and expresses itself in the way we live, host, and connect with others. Hosting to me has never been about performance. It's about creating gatherings that feel beautifully human, elevated, warm, and thoughtfully designed. Today, I'm sharing something that has shaped most of the events I've hosted, what I'm calling the graceful gathering method, a simple, intuitive way to create gatherings that feel cohesive and meaningful. This approach doesn't require perfection, just intention, alignment, and a sense of flow. There are 6 elements that work together seamlessly. Element 1, the intention phase. Before anything else, define the feeling you want the gathering to embody. You can ask yourself, how do I want my guests to feel? What kind of energy do I want in the room? What tone do I want this event to carry? Then shape it into a simple guiding phrase. For an afternoon tea I hosted for 6 women, my intention phrase was traditional elegance with warm feminine charm. That one phrase shaped every decision that followed. Element 2, the coordinated elegance plan. Your intention creates the feeling. Your coordinated elements express it visually. Choose 3 to 5 unifying elements such as color palette, florals, textures, serving pieces, lighting, menu style, paper goods, or signage. In my tea example, to match traditional elegance, I used blue and white bone china, white roses and blue and white vases, soft candlelight, a printed menu in pale blue ink with an elegant floral design, traditional 3-tiered trays to reinforce harmony. Every piece quietly echoed the same message. Element 3, curated guest chemistry. The people and the way they interact shape the emotional tone of the event. But chemistry isn't only about who you invite. For larger gatherings, it's mostly shaped by the environment you create. Which brings us to something I rely on every time I host, the 4 hosting zones. Before we go into them, here's what a zone is. They are intentional areas or roles in your space that support connection, comfort, movement, and emotional ease. They make the gathering feel effortless for guests and for you. The 4 hosting zones. Number 1, the welcome zone. The very first emotional moment your guests encounter. This zone should feel warm, simple, grounded, easy to navigate. An example, a signature drink table, soft lighting, a subtle scent. The host positioned visibly to greet guests. This tells guests you belong here and can relax. Number 2, the conversation zone. This is the zone where people naturally settle. This should feel intimate, comfortable, arranged for small clusters. An example, chairs angled towards each other, love seat and chair combinations, low florals or candles. Your warmest, easiest conversationalists will gravitate here. They set the tone without trying. Number 3, the food and drink flow zone. Movement creates connection. This encourages circulation, low pressure interaction, natural conversation. Some examples, drink stations at waist height, simple finger foods arranged in small clusters, dessert tables with height variation. This is often where strangers become comfortable. Number 4, the anchor zone. These aren't places, they're people. Your anchors are guests who make others feel welcome, ease tension naturally, keep conversations warm, subtly guide the energy. Place one near the drinks, one in the conversation area, and one who drifts. Their presence becomes the emotional scaffolding for the event. So let's look back at the tea example and talk about the 4 zones in action. At my afternoon tea, My welcome zone, mimosas upon arrival, soft lighting, a warm greeting for me. Conversation zone, a group of seating with low florals. The flow zone, an intimate sit-down with servingware that encouraged conversation and interaction among guests. Tea trays, condiment trays, etc. The anchor zone, 2 guests who effortlessly kept the atmosphere warm. When zones work, you don't have to manage the event. It breathes on its own. Element 4, the guest experience arc. Every memorable gathering has a natural emotional rhythm. Phase 1, the welcome. Set the tone through lighting, a warm smile, a simple signature drink. Phase 2, the experience, the heart of the gathering. At my tea, finger sandwiches, scones, paired teas, everything pre-assembled, a simple don't forget anything list. This allowed me to stay present with my guests. Phase 3, the afterglow. A gentle, lingering close, often a special herbal blend tea, soft conversation, warm, unhurried goodbyes. This is the part people remember emotionally. Element 5, choose flow over perfection. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is this: memorable gatherings aren't created through perfection, but through flow. Flow comes from the environment supporting the gathering, not from sticking to a script. What flow looks like: guests move easily around the space. Food and drinks are accessible. Seating encourages connection. Music, lighting, and scent work together subtly. Transitions feel natural, not forced. When the environment does its job, the event carries itself. And when things go off script, and they will, candles will burn out, guests may arrive late, a dish finishes too early or too late, a visual detail doesn't work. None of that matters if the overall feeling stays warm and cohesive. Flow beats perfection every time. Element 6, thoughtful closing rituals. Endings shape memory. Here are some simple ideas: a wrapped flower, a handwritten note, a tiny edible gift, a keepsake tied to your theme. For the tea, I gave each of my guests a small tin of tea tied with pale blue ribbon. Not elaborate, just intentional. When intention, coordination, guest chemistry, flow, emotional rhythm, and closing rituals all work together, a gathering becomes more than an event. It becomes a meaningful experience. Quietly elegant, deeply human, unforgettable in a soft, lasting way. The gatherings people remember most aren't always the fanciest. They're the ones where everything feels considered, warm, and beautifully aligned. The graceful gathering method brings all of that into a simple structure you can return to again and again. So what's one thoughtful detail you'd love to bring into your next gathering? Tell me in the comments. I love hearing the ways you make your world beautiful. And to help you with your next event, I've included a free workbook in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe so we can further explore ways to live gracefully. Until next time, my graceful friends.